How do you survive as a war correspondent in such a risky situation for yourself?
I pray, because it doesn't matter how much training you've got or experience, it's still very dangerous, and some of it's just luck. Good tactics as well. For instance, when the shooting and the firefights start, I see a lot of people hugging against the walls. That's a mistake. You should stay away from the walls.
Stay away from the walls.
Right, because if you hug the wall, if a bullet hits the wall, it'll travel down the wall. So you have a much higher chance.
So what should you do?
Just stay at least an arm's distance away
from the wall.
Right. So don't hug the walls. I keep telling people, don't hug the walls. Stay away from the walls. That sort of thing.
What else is advised to war reporters? Because a lot of town reporters are not used to covering this sort of thing. And the last time in 1992, the so-called Black May riot, it only lasted about 2 days.
Right.
And you didn't need a big, a helmet or a bulletproof vest or anything. This time, for the first time.
I would always advise, wear your helmet, of course. And the helmets that I've seen the nation people wearing are good helmets. They're the same helmets. I just saw one in your newsroom. That's the same helmet that our soldiers wear. And I know quite a few people who have been shot in the head in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the bullets do not go through those helmets. So they will stop. You're going to be knocked out probably. You're going to get knocked flat, but you'll probably be okay. Wear your vest. And
you wear your vest?
I left it in Afghanistan, so I can't take my own advice. I didn't expect to come to this. And also carry medical kit. One thing that can be helpful for gunshot wounds is to carry tampons, because you can stick those in the bullet holes or the pads, or any kind of medical, you can get top-rate medical gear here. But our soldiers in Afghanistan and Iraq often carry tampons, which I do as well, because, when you get bullet holes, that's the easiest way to stop the bleeding quickly. So there's many. Don't silhouette yourself in the windows, which I see people doing sometimes. Their lights on in their room and they're standing in the window, almost like a bullet magnet.
Some of the photographers were hit by the soldiers because they didn't know who was who.
2 French journalists told me that the soldiers shot at them, and they were out at night, and they said the bullets were very close. And they said, they ran away and didn't get hit. Again, it sounded like a case of not understanding the danger that they were in, because, approaching soldiers after curfew is not a good idea. I mean, they are ready to fight.
So you can never be too careful as a war correspondent, right?
No. I would advise also some of the body armor I've seen people wearing maybe will not actually stop bullets.
No?
So it's important to have proper body armor. If you have good body armor like the U.S. soldiers wear, if you get hit in the chest or in the stomach, you're going to get knocked flat. I mean, I've seen many people hit, but you're going to be okay. It might break some ribs or something, but the bullets will not go through those good vests.
Being embedded with a military unit, is it a good or bad thing for a journalist? In terms of safety. In terms of
safety is very dangerous.
It's
far more dangerous than going alone. It's far. I mean, when you're standing with the soldiers, for instance, on the street, that's where the fighting is going to happen. They're going to be the people on both sides are going to be shooting at each other. So it's far safer to be removed. There's a misconception actually in Afghanistan, in particular, that it's more dangerous to be alone, which I've never been shot at when I'm alone. I've never been attacked when I'm alone, but when I'm with soldiers, oh, good Lord, there's no way I could remember how many times we've been attacked.
Because you are one of the targets.
Exactly. I mean, they blow up our vehicles. The bombs are sufficiently large that they can destroy our best tanks. And when I say destroy them, I mean they'll blow the pieces of the tank 100 meters away. Turn the tank upside down. It's huge bombs. When they hit, sometimes they kill all the soldiers in the vehicles. Also, small arms and RPGs. Luckily, I don't see
you badly harmed in any way. You are still in one piece. How did you survive all those explosions and bombs?
Very, very lucky, because people all around me have been shot and blown up, and it's just pure luck.
But of course, you have some basic instincts on how to behave under the circumstances.
Pure luck, and I was also lucky that I got some good military training by the Army.
Having been a Green Beret must have helped.
It does help. It helps with tactics. It helps me read the situation. When the fighting starts, I can pretty much predict what the soldiers are going to do without being told. Also, the soldiers are very helpful to me because every time you go to a different part of the battlefield, let's say Afghanistan, in one area where I was with the British last year, almost all the attacks were by bombs, right? And so that the British would give me quick classes on what to look for in their area. Now, 5 miles away, only 5 miles away, or 5 kilometers actually, there was another British camp that I went to, and they weren't using many bombs. The enemy was using small arms fire. And for instance, that video that you saw on YouTube, we were ambushed by small arms. That was from that small base. So it's interesting. So when you go to a new situation, just because you've been in a lot of war doesn't mean you understand that situation. You must immediately start asking the soldiers, what are the enemy tactics? What do I need to watch for? And then they'll start to school you up because they want you to watch as well. You're helping them watch for bombs as well.
Is a war correspondent allowed to carry arms?
No, not with the U.S. anyway.
No.
Sometimes,
even for self-defense?
I have in self-defense, but that's uncommon, and it's against the rules to do it. And I would never do it in a case that would not be justified. For instance, in one case, a commander was shot in front of me, and there was nobody to help, and a lot of bullets were flying, and I picked up a gun and did get involved. But that's very uncommon. Normally, I don't carry anything but a camera and a pen.
If you're on your own, not being embedded with military units, are you armed personally? No.
Yes.
Not. You are?
In Afghanistan, yes, because they have been kidnapping journalists. It is important to be prepared there because there is a high kidnapping threat. And so it's just the prudent. Now, I'm not really a journalist. I'm a writer. And as you know, journalists get upset when they hear about a journalist carrying a gun. But I'm not a journalist. I'm a writer. And so I play by slightly different rules.
But even in America, journalists are not supposed to carry arms when they go into a risky area?
That would be their choice. And different states have different laws in the United States. In some states, if they had a license to carry a pistol, they could carry one as well.
What about Iraq? In Iraq, do they allow you to carry arms as a war correspondent or a writer or a journalist, whatever?
Some of the journalists did, actually, at times. I did not in Iraq. But Afghanistan, yes. I mean, it's important. The kidnapping threat is very high. You may have to defend yourself, but not when I'm with soldiers. Never carry a weapon when I'm with soldiers. It really, again, many journalists have a great distaste to hear that somebody would do that. But once you get over there and see the extent of the danger, it's not smart not to, actually. But again, that's coming from a writer, not a journalist.
Well, if it's so risky, what is the advantage of being embedded with a military unit in a war?
Well, when you're embedded, you learn what our plans are. Because I go to the secret briefings, I'm in the headquarters, or I'm out with the troops. I see how our troops are treating people. I watch that very closely. Are the American or British forces mistreating the local people? Are the people giving them information? You can't see that unless you're with them. So there's advantages to that. But it's like there's many different vantage points to be had in the war, and so it's important to sample many of these things and try to make sense of the chaos, which can be, quite complicated. As with Thailand, there's many different vantage points. You could be with the police and the army and see one side, or you could go in the red shirt camp and camp out there with them and see another side. But it's important to also get out with the normal people and say, what do you think, or read what they're writing to each other, that sort of thing. So there's, as you know, as a longtime journalist yourself, it's very important to see many sides.
But if the military unit that you are embedded with decides to do something bad, they would not allow you to be with them. So they'll say, on this particular trip, you're out because we're going to do something we can't let you see. Would that be the case?
The people would tell you. So, I mean, there has been cases where things bad have happened in Iraq and Afghanistan. American and British soldiers are very professional and disciplined. And for the most part, they don't do illegal actions. But it has happened. It's happened in Afghanistan, and it's happened in Iraq. And you find out from the people. Because the people do have cell phones, or they have a motor scooter, and they can come and tell you. And so it won't be hidden. Maybe in previous wars you could hide it, but not now. There's too many people with too many means for communications. And also there's many media outlets in both Iraq and Afghanistan, so they don't have to find CNN. All they have to do is get to an internet cafe and upload the photos. There were people during the Iraq War that were saying that we were hugely covering up casualties, and I said that's ridiculous. We can't cover up U.S. casualties. I mean, everybody knows. The families know. Everybody sees what happens. I mean, it's best.